The king has banished his queen, the hero has become a fugitive, and the crown prince is about to choose between his blood and his destiny. The hunt for David begins now, and it will tear the kingdom of Israel in two. The celebration of David's triumph is brutally short-lived. The same public adoration that cemented his legend has now signed his death warrant. Saul's rage, once a smoldering fire, has exploded into an inferno. He will not wait. He will not scheme in shadows. In a terrifying display of his unchecked power, Saul will send his royal guards to seize David from his own home, under the cover of night. This is not an arrest, it is an execution order. The first moments of episode 7 will be a heart-pounding escape. Thanks to a frantic, whispered warning from Jonathan, David is forced to flee with nothing but the clothes on his back and the sword at his hip. He will not even have a final moment with Michal. Their reunion is stolen from them, their marriage beginning in separation and terror. David's flight through the darkened streets of Gibeah is a descent from the palace heights to the gritty reality of the alleyways. He is no longer a commander or a champion. He is prey. This sequence establishes the new tone for his story, one of constant movement, paranoia, and survival, where every shadow could hold a spear and every friendly face could be a betrayer. With David gone, Gibeah is a gilded cage filled with fear and suspicion. Saul's court is now a hollow echo of its former self, populated by sycophants and spies. Saul himself is a ghost haunting his own throne, his speeches rambling, his eyes constantly scanning for the betrayal he is certain is coming. The exile of Ahinoam has left a vacuum, and into it steps new, more ruthless advisors who feed his worst instincts, suggesting mass purges of anyone suspected of supporting David. In this toxic environment, Jonathan faces his ultimate test. His final conversation with his father is a masterpiece of tragic tension. He will plead for reason, for David's life, only to have Saul, in a moment of chilling clarity, scream the prophecy back in his face. You side with him, the one who steals your crown? It is in this moment that Jonathan realizes his father is not just jealous, he is at war with God's will. Jonathan's choice is made. He will not flee with David, but become his most vital asset inside the lion's den. He will orchestrate a secret meeting, a final, heartbreaking covenant in the wilderness, where he reaffirms that David will be king and he, Jonathan, will be his second in command, willingly surrendering his birthright for the sake of his friend and his nation's future. Alone and hunted in the wilderness of Judea, David's journey is one of profound spiritual and physical desolation. He finds temporary refuge in the cave of Adullam, a location that will become the birthplace of his true army. But they are not an army of nobles or soldiers. They are the discontented, the distressed, and the in debt. One by one, they emerge from the shadows, his own brothers finally recognizing his destiny, Eliab, the guilt-ridden commander, and a ragtag collection of men with nothing left to lose. David's leadership is tested not in commanding loyalty, but in forging it from despair. He must transform this band of desperate outcasts into a disciplined force. Meanwhile, the prophet Samuel, a beacon in the growing darkness, will find David. His guidance is not a promise of safety, but a reaffirmation of purpose. He will anoint David, not as the king in waiting, but as a king in exile, preparing him for the long, hard road ahead. This is where David's legend evolves from that of a lone hero to that of a commander of a new Israel, built not on a throne, but on faith and shared struggle. Saul's hunt will not be passive. He will receive intelligence, perhaps from the treacherous Joab, who sees David's fall as his path to Michal, and will march on a town where David is suspected to be hiding. The episode's climax is a brutal game of cat and mouse. David, relying on local sympathizers and his knowledge of the terrain, stays one step ahead. But Saul's frustration turns to atrocity. In the scene that will cement his villainy, he will accuse the priests of the town of Nob of aiding David. When they plead innocence, Saul, in a fit of paranoid rage, orders their massacre, a horrific event that will send a shock wave of terror throughout Israel and turn the religious establishment firmly against the king. This act is Saul's point of no return, proving he will slaughter his own people to get to one man. David, witnessing the smoke from a distance, is burdened with the guilt of those who died in his name, a heavy price for his survival. The final moments of the episode present two opposing visions of Israel. We see Saul, seated on his throne in Gibeah, surrounded by yes-men but utterly alone, his kingdom shrinking to the size of his own fear. His authority is now maintained solely by terror. Then we cut to David in the cave of Adullam. The camera pulls back to reveal not just a handful of men, but a growing community of hundreds, warriors, families, and believers. They look to him not as a fugitive, but as their true king. David stands at the mouth of the cave, looking out over the land he is destined to rule. He is no longer running from something, he is fighting for something. The screen fades to black. On his resolute face, the quiet leader of a rebellion that is about to erupt into open war. The hunt has begun, but so has the revolution.